Has anybody ever looked back and wish you could start all over? Ever thought, I've made too many mistakes, I'm too old, I've wasted too many years? If so, keep listening. If not, keep living, because God isn't just the God of new beginnings. He's also the God of new endings. Some people bloom early, others bloom later. And today we're meeting a man who didn't become the person God wanted him to be until the second half of his life. Hey family, my name is Tony Lewis, and it's my plum-pleasing pleasure, as usual, to share with you today a few minutes for us. If these moments are helping you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this message with someone who believes their best years are behind them. Because today's message reminds us God still writes great second halves. Today, we're talking about a guy named Jacob. Jacob. Too late? Think again. Too late? Think again. Your past does not have the final word. God does. Let me tell you his story. It's found in Genesis chapters 25 to 35. Jacob entered the world, grabbing his brother's heel, Esau. Even his beginning showed his struggle. Later, he deceived his father, cheated his brother, ran from home, spent years being deceived himself by his uncle Laban. He worked hard, raised a family, built wealth, but inside, Jacob was still running. Then one night, everything changed. He wrestled with God. He refused to quit. And before sunrise, God changed his name from Jacob, meaning deceiver, to Israel, one who struggles with God and prevails. Notice something here, family. God didn't simply change Jacob's situation. God changed Jacob. Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't changing your circumstances. It's changing your character. My God, that's good, y'all. Let me say that again. Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't changing your circumstances. It's changing your character. Let me tell you how he struggled. Jacob struggled with manipulation, deception, fear. Who am I talking to? Running from problems, depending on his own plan. I know I've been there. Trying to control everything. Sound familiar? But what's the lesson? What's the lesson? God specializes in late bloomers. God specializes in late bloomers. Think about this, family. Jacob wasn't finished because God wasn't finished. When you and I struggle like Jacob, and you trust your plans more than God's promises, when you manipulate instead of praying, when you run instead of repenting, when you control instead of surrendering, when you spend years trying to fix yourself when only God can truly change you. When you succeed like Jacob, when everything changes, when you surrender instead of scheming, when you trust God instead of tricking folk, who am I talking to? When you obey instead of manipulating, when you walk with a limp, but also with blessing. Because sometimes God leaves us with a limp to remind us who gave us the victory. Family, maybe you're 40, maybe you're 50, maybe you're 60, maybe you're 70 or older. Family, can I tell you something? If God is still giving you breath, he still has purpose for your life. And never confuse a late season with a lost season. Let me say that again. Never confuse a late season with a lost season, because God is never late. He's always right on time. Maybe today you're carrying regret, mistakes, failures, broken relationships, poor decisions, and feel like giving up. Family, hear me now. God doesn't waste broken people. He rebuilds them. Your first chapter may have been messy, but God can still write a beautiful ending. When things are hot and heavy in this season of your life, remember these 5 truths. God can change you. God can clean you. God can correct you. God can call you. God can complete you, because it's not how you start, it's how you surrender. But remember the lesson. God specializes in late bloomers. Family, don't quit before God finishes your story, because the second half may become the greatest half of your life. See you next week for the next a few minutes for us for the second episode. And it's not how you start, it's how you finish in this series, Second Half Saints. To God be the glory. I'm out, y'all.